Alright guys, in today's video I want to quickly talk to you about your writing style. Now, when I write a blog post or a website copy, the main goal when I'm writing is to confirm my readers' suspicions. That's number one. Number two, I want to make sure that I am providing an environment where I'm able to calm their fears. Number three, I want to make sure that I'm validating their failures, but I also want to encourage their dreams. Then the last thing I want to make sure is I want to make sure that I'm standing with them. I'm throwing rocks at their enemies. It means standing in their shoes and making sure that you are siding with them. Those are the five main things that I consider when I'm writing a copy. So you guys, when you come into this bootcamp, when we assign a job for you, when we give you assignments that you need to go and work on, think of these things. How are you going to write your intro or the first paragraph where you are able to instantly confirm the reader's suspicions, but you're also able to provide reassuring, calming environment where they know that their fears have been spotted and you know you have a solution that you can provide for them. Then you move on to validate areas where you spot their failures and you assure them that you're going to provide the solutions that they are looking for. Those are some of the things that you've got to think about in your writing style. Now, there are so many connecting dots that you've got to do along the way, but that's what sort of like takes a bit of time to learn as you go about when you're doing what you're doing. All right? And secondly, what I want you guys to think about is how are you going to become a master or an expert in your own industry. And that can only happen unless if you pick a niche. Picking a niche market where you're going to be the go-to guy is going to be helpful for you guys. And if you haven't noticed, when we give you assignments in the bootcamp, what we tend to do is make sure that we provide you guys with the varied industries. We'll give you maybe 5 or 10 keywords that are from a different industry, and then later on we'll swap that and give you something different to write. What we want to spot in between these keywords that we provide you is where you feel more at home. But more importantly, when you enjoy writing in a certain section of the markets that we participate in, we want you to give us feedback and say, okay, I enjoy writing about pets, or maybe I enjoy writing about credit cards, or maybe I enjoy writing about home and garden. That way, we are sort of like also customizing and helping you to narrow down which markets you can actually go into and pick the niche market where you can become an expert. The other thing that you have to think about when you are considering about your writing style and how you are going to grow in this industry is making sure that you think about who are the experts in the industry that you're going to go into, and how can you learn one or two things from them. Most of the resources that you need to learn the type of style that you should be writing about, or how you should be going about in terms of how to write the best blog post or maybe the best website copy, is learning from people who have already done it. It's not like you're going to go out and reinvent the wheel, but learning from the people who are already doing what they're doing. So that's one of the things. If you are going to specialize in writing, email soap opera for businesses. Subscribing to a number of key industry, experts helps you to sort of like grants into how they are speaking to their customers, what sort of emails are they sending to them, and then from those copies of emails that they're sending you as a part of their marketing efforts, you learn quite a lot of things in those emails, the way how they are laying out their message, the way how they are speaking to their customer, the way how they are including their customer in whatever activities that are happening within their business. That's very important. So making sure that you have copies that you can study begins by choosing which industry experts are you going to sort of like follow in your niche market. I spoke about choosing niche market in the first stage. The thing is, once you choose a niche market, a lot of things become a lot more clear. It's going to be a lot easier for you to sort of like pick which experts you should follow. That's the first thing as you're learning. But secondly, when you begin to build your client base or building your business, it's going to be a lot easier for you to build and sort of like narrow down and build your own audience, or maybe isolate your audience and sort of like have a definitive type of people who you should be speaking to. But it's also going to make your job a lot easier for you to become an expert in that industry, because your audience is going to look up to you as the expert of that particular industry. So choosing which copies to study is going to be a lot easier, because you're going to narrow down who are the experts in the niche market that you have chosen. So that's a key. The other thing is this job that you're going to go into and start sort of like building a career, unless you have time to learn the skills, not chasing the money, but learning the skills, you won't be able to go anywhere. So making sure that you take your time and learn the skills first is extremely important. And the good thing is, you guys in the bootcamp, you are learning the skills, doing part of what you are supposed to be doing as apprentices who are getting paid to do what you're doing, but also learning the skills along the way, and having mentors who are telling you, oh, okay, in these areas you need to do A, B, C, D, on these areas you need to improve on these things. So making sure that you're learning and building on top of what you learned previous time is extremely important. And I can't stress enough that, guys, when you commit to building a career in this industry, make sure that you don't stop writing, because writing on a day-to-day basis or on a weekly basis, depending on your availability and commitment of work and other things that are going on in your life, is important. It's part of the learning experience. So make sure that as soon as you make up your mind and say, I'm going to build a career out of becoming a content creator or a copywriter, begin to start writing regularly. Now, while knowing how to agitate a customer's feelings or your readers' emotions is important, but also knowing how to utilize some of the technical skills like learning SEO, just the basics, helps you quite a lot, because those are some of the skill sets that are going to make you one of the most valuable members of staff wherever you went to either work as an employee or maybe building your own business. And the other thing that you also have to think about is building your online presence. everywhere you go, whether you're going to look for business or maybe you're applying for jobs and things like that, they will always want to look at your portfolio. They will always look at your social media presence. And in these areas, making sure that you have a unified message and branding is extremely important. So make sure that whilst you are learning the skills, building part of your business, you're also creating a brand that is going to sit very well with your customers and the niche market that you have chosen for yourself. And the other thing is to think about how you are going to start building your personal value. This is what we call beginning to build your personal sort of like we call this personal value stacking journey. You have to start learning some of the skills that are going to be helpful along the way. Some of the people who are going to be giving you jobs that you need to do. There are people who are going to want to make sure to know that you are able to use WordPress or maybe doing Pinterest graphics, or it could be SEO outreach tactics and all the other bits and pieces that could help you along the way. You can't master all the skills at the same time. So you really have to start picking one skill at a time as you go along. The more skills you pick along the way over the years, the better and the more valuable member of the team you are going to become when you're getting hired by people who want your services. That's very important. And the last thing is taking steps to building your business. At the end of the day, those who learn a skill in life, they never lack job opportunities because they have a skill. But if you have a mentality of being an employee all of your life, then there is a problem there. Good thing is in this bootcamp, we don't raise employees, we raise business owners. We want you guys, once you begin getting the skills and the understanding what you should be doing, you should be starting to build your own businesses. You should be thinking as business people, so that when you go out there and looking for jobs, you're not looking for employment, but you're looking for business opportunities from other businesses. That's the way how we look at things here, and that's the way how we would want you guys, as you walk away from whatever experiences that you've had with us. That's the goal. We want you guys to walk out of here with a business in a box. All right?